Hello, and welcome to another day of preparation for our Honey, I Shrunk the Labor-demic challenge. So, if you don't know, if you haven't heard about the challenge, this is a challenge that the clinic doctor is putting on in order to help healthcare leaders, presumably like yourself, win in this tough labor market. Today, I want to talk about how to gather your team because this can't be just a one man band, a one woman band. It has to be more than just you. However, a lot of times when we're doing projects, a lot of times we get so frustrated with projects because we have a million cooks in the kitchen and there's a lot of red tape and we're not seeing the results that we desire. So, I want to ask you guys, as you're thinking about your team, I want to ask three questions, or I want you to ask yourselves three questions that will hopefully help you pick the right team to join this project with you. The first question is, are they necessary? Right? So if they are necessary, bring them on. If they are not necessary, if this is not a necessary function for the work that you're for this project, when we're thinking about like labor, we're thinking about frontline staff, obviously managers. If you're like whether that be like upper managers, middle managers, whoever, but thinking about who is absolutely necessary. If they are not absolutely necessary, don't bring them in. And maybe later on, we realize that we do really need their buy in. We do really need them to be a part of this. So whether, we realize that we have a bunch of IT stuff and maybe we need the CIO to be a part of this. Or maybe, we realize, oh my goodness, this is a lot bigger than we expected. Maybe we need somebody, another like exec, whether it be our chief HR officer or our chief whoever officer, right? The second question that I want you to ask is who is actually doing the work? They should make up the bulk of the team that you have. The people doing the work should really be actively a part of this process. If they're not, then we miss out on the most important voice and the people whose like the work we're doing is for. We're doing the work for those doing the work, right? And so if we don't have their voice, then we can a lot of times end up misaligned and pouring resources and time and whatever else and effort and energy into a project that is not fulfilling the needs of the people whose needs we're trying to fulfill. The third and last question that I would love for you guys to ask yourselves as you're putting together your teams is who is not being heard? That is the secret sauce, right? When we're thinking about these projects, we really need to ask the question of who is not being heard. Is it the introvert? You know, is it the long-standing, the person who has a lot of tenure but not necessarily has the loudest voice? Is it somebody from a different, a different religion than most of the employees, a different race, a different gender, a different whatever sexual orientation or gender identity, somebody with disability or whatever else? Who, like, take a second and look and see who is not being heard. So, again, the three questions are who is necessary, who is doing the work, and who is not being heard. Let's ask ourselves these three questions as we're putting together our teams for the challenge, which is going to be starting this Wednesday, April 10th. Okay, see you there.